If you're a golf fan, or even if you just casually follow the sport, you'll remember that jaw-dropping moment when Jordan Spieth pulled off one of the most unconventional yet brilliant moves ever seen on the course. It was during the Phoenix Open when Spieth, faced with what looked like an impossible lie, took the golf world by surprise with a left-handed shot using his putter. The crowd went wild. Fans were left speechless, some even questioning if what they had just witnessed was real. In that moment, Spieth didn't just make a shot, he made a statement. He proved that creativity, adaptability, and a bit of boldness could turn an impossible situation into one of golf's most iconic plays. This article is going to break down exactly what happened, why it was so stunning, and how it's impacting the golfing world forever. From the setup of the Phoenix Open to the execution of that unforgettable shot, let's dive into what made this moment so special. The Phoenix Open is no ordinary golf tournament. It's one of the most unique events on the PGA Tour calendar. For one, it's held at the TPC Scottsdale, a course that's as challenging as it is exciting. The course is known for its narrow fairways, tricky greens, and numerous hazards that make every shot count. But perhaps the most distinctive feature of the Phoenix Open is the energy of the crowds. Unlike most golf tournaments where the atmosphere is relatively calm and quiet, the Phoenix Open feels more like a rock concert. Fans are loud, passionate, and constantly engaged. They're not just there to watch a sport, they're there to be part of something thrilling. And this added energy can make the stakes feel even higher. Now, as for Jordan Spieth, he entered this tournament with a bit of pressure on his shoulders. After a few years of mixed performances, fans and analysts were watching closely to see if he could regain his former glory. Spieth had always been one of golf's most exciting players, winning major titles early in his career. But after a slump, there were questions about whether he could get back to that level. His performances leading up to the Phoenix Open were solid, though not spectacular. He was still trying to find consistency in his game, especially with his putting. But there was always this sense that at any moment, he could turn things around. And that's exactly what he did. Which brings us to the moment that set the stage for Spieth's iconic shot. It was the 11th hole, and Spieth's ball had found itself in a place no golfer wants to be, in a bush. We've all been there, right? You hit a perfect shot, or so you think, and then it lands in a spot where the odds of recovering it seem close to zero. In this case, Spieth had a terrible lie. The ball was deep in the shrubbery, with almost no way to get a clean shot at the hole. The lie was bad, the position was worse, and to make matters even more complicated, Spieth had to factor in the angle of the shot, the position of the hole, and the wind, all of which added up to an almost impossible situation. As Spieth approached the ball, you could see the wheels turning in his mind. The first thing you're probably thinking when you're in a spot like that is, what now? And for most golfers, this is where the stress and frustration really set in. Spieth, though, didn't panic. He took a step back, assessed the situation, and started to consider his options. He could try to hack it out of the bushes with a wedge, but that wasn't a guarantee. He could go for the aggressive option, hoping to make something miraculous happen. Or he could simply take a step back and think outside the box. And that's exactly what he did. The moment that set the stage for Spieth's iconic shot. It was the 11th hole, and Spieth's ball had found itself in a place no golfer wants to be, in a bush. We've all been there, right? You hit a perfect shot, or so you think, and then it lands in a spot where the odds of recovering it seem close to zero. In this case, Spieth had a terrible lie. The ball was deep in the shrubbery, with almost no way to get a clean shot at the hole. The lie was bad, the position was worse, and to make matters even more complicated, Spieth had to factor in the angle of the shot, the position of the hole, and the wind, all of which added up to an almost impossible situation. As Spieth approached the ball, you could see the wheels turning in his mind. The first thing you're probably thinking when you're in a spot like that is, what now? And for most golfers, this is where the stress and frustration really set in. Spieth, though, didn't panic. He took a step back, assessed the situation, and started to consider his options. He could try to hack it out of the bushes with a wedge, but that wasn't a guarantee. He could go for the aggressive option, hoping to make something miraculous happen. Or he could simply take a step back and think outside the box. And that's exactly what he did. And then Spieth made it happen. With calmness and precision, he lined up the shot, adjusted his grip, and with a smooth stroke, he sent the ball rolling. The shot was nothing short of impressive. It wasn't just about hitting the ball with the putter. It was about controlling the angle, managing the lie, and using the unique skill to make sure the ball found its way back into play. There was something almost poetic about it. Spieth was taking control of a situation that seemed completely out of his hands and using nothing but creativity and skill to salvage it. Watching him make that shot was like witnessing art in motion. It wasn't just a display of athleticism, it was a testament to his ability to adapt and think in the moment. The outcome was even more stunning than the shot itself. Spieth managed to get the ball back into play, putting himself in a position where he could save par. The crowd erupted into cheers. It was a moment of pure brilliance that had fans on their feet. Even though Spieth didn't walk away with a win that day, the impact of that shot was undeniable. It wasn't just about the score, it was about the move that stunned the entire golfing world. The shot became a symbol of the unpredictable nature of the sport and how one moment of creativity could change everything. Spieth's decision to pull off the left-handed putter shot not only salvaged the hole, but also reignited the excitement and wonder that golf fans had been missing. It was a reminder that golf is not just about technique. It's about thinking on your feet, improvising when necessary, and making the most of even the worst situations. Spieth's boldness set the tone for the rest of the tournament, and it's safe to say that his move will be remembered as one of the most creative and daring plays in recent golfing history. For those lucky enough to witness the shot live, it was a moment they'll never forget. The reactions from fans were immediate and filled with astonishment. Many fans described the shot as unreal or something out of a golf legend's playbook. One fan, who was sitting in the stands near the hole, recalled the collective gasp from the crowd when Spieth made his move. "We were all just sitting there watching him take a swing with a putter, and then it happened. The ball rolled perfectly back into play." I've never heard the crowd roar like that. "It was one of those moments where you just knew you were watching history being made," said one excited spectator. Another fan shared how the shot made them reconsider how they viewed Spieth's game. "Spieth has always been one of my favorites, but after that shot, I'm convinced he's a magician on the course. To do something so bold, so unexpected, it was like watching someone rewrite the rule book in real time. I'm not sure how anyone could top that move anytime soon." The general sentiment from fans was one of pure admiration. They didn't just appreciate the skill it took to make that shot, they marveled at Spieth's confidence and mental toughness to even attempt something like that under the pressure of a major tournament. Fans quickly flooded social media, praising Spieth's brilliance and sharing clips of the shot that would soon go viral. Golf analysts too were stunned by Spieth's move. For them, it wasn't just a shot, it was a statement. What Spieth did at the Phoenix Open was one of the most creative moments I've ever seen in golf, said renowned golf analyst David Feherty. "In all my years of covering the sport, I've never seen someone pull off a left-handed shot with a putter from a bush like that. It was a moment of brilliance, and it shows just how mentally sharp Spieth is, even in the most unpredictable situations." Other analysts noted that while the move might have seemed like a one-off, it was actually a perfect example of how Spieth has always been a risk-taker on the course. "Spieth's creativity is one of the things that makes him so special," said another analyst. "And that shot proved that he's willing to take chances when the odds are stacked against him." This isn't just about making a quirky shot, it's about his mentality to attack every moment with confidence and composure. The consensus among experts was that Spieth's move wasn't just rare, it was historically brilliant. They pointed to the fact that golf, by its nature, is a sport defined by precision and tradition, and a shot like that, executed with such flair, could easily go down as one of the most talked about moments in the game's history.